The context really for this statement, "You are the light of the world," comes out of the Great Commission, and it's more broad. After the Beatitudes, the Lord then makes this statement, "You are the light of the world," and then he tells you the properties of the light and what it ought to do in the world, so that it's not simply just light that's consumed upon itself, but he talks about the fact that light has a hard time hiding, right? You've either got to cover it, you've got to do something, but he says the purpose of light is that it would give light to all that are in the room. Then he talks about a city that is set on a hill cannot be hid. But the overriding purpose, he says, is that it would give glory unto God. And so in terms of making disciples, we're to let our light shine in the world. And what Jesus is saying here is, I've enlightened you, but I've done it for a purpose. I've enlightened you so that you would then enlighten the world. And what happens when a Christian actually lives as a Christian, when he goes out and he proclaims the truth of Christianity, he preaches the gospel, is that men cannot help but notice, right? They may not like it, they may reject it, some may be drawn to it, but light doesn't leave men neutral. It forces them to do something as a result, because the world that they're living in is dark. And so this is what it means to be a disciple of Christ in light of the fact that you are the light of the world. I left you here for a purpose. Bring glory to God by the way that you live, by the message that you preach. And so Paul, when he gets to Ephesians, he says this in chapter 5, verse 1. He says, "Therefore, be imitators of God as dear children, and walk in love." And then he goes on to say this. He says, "For you were once darkness, but now you are light in the Lord." He doesn't say you've seen the light, but he says you are light in the Lord. And then he gives this command, walk as children of light. So we are light. We've been made light by what Christ has done for us. As a result of that, we're to walk as children of light.